I think this was way better than a few telenovelas that I've seen in the past. And man, I'm usually not a big fan of the whole hostage movies, but this one I was pleasantly surprised by. Welcome back, y'all, to the DeAndre Way. We are here. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know the drill, man. Today we going over the Netflix film Non-Negotiable. It's said differently. I believe in Spanish it's non-negotiable. Probably saying that wrong. Look, the bad thing is I am one fourth Mexican, and my Spanish is pretty bad. Duolingo, I've been terrible at it this year, so hopefully it gets together soon. I need to spend a whole half year in Spain or Mexico, something to get this thing together. Because I used to be real good, but it's since fallen apart. Anywho, y'all, this movie just came out. I saw it and I was like, not negotiable. I wonder what that's about. It was about a negotiator. Uh, my thoughts after seeing this movie was it was actually pretty good to me. The one movie that comes to mind when I hear about this is Telephone Booth. If you ain't seen Telephone Booth, that's one of the OG hostage movies in my opinion because the whole movie takes place with this dude in a telephone booth, and it's suspenseful and thrilling in the middle of, I believe, New York, and there's a sniper in one of the buildings, and he could shoot at any moment. So this gave me flashbacks to that. But there was deep things going on here. It wasn't just one thing about telephone booth. It was just the telephone booth. That's pretty much what was going on. But in this movie, it was you dealing with the hostage situation. You dealing with the wife and husband situation, and like their marriage, as well as the child, as well as the reason behind it. You get the whole politician, with his, I was about to say demonic, with his uh, illicit activities going on and what he's been doing, as well as the other hostages, the one fake hostage, and then the security guard. They're trying to find like a whole bunch of stuff going on. And I like that there's layers added onto these things. So it raises the stakes. The stakes on this was at the highest it could possibly be. I mean, obviously people gonna get killed. There was a bomb attached to the dude. It was crazy. So I enjoyed watching it, and it's not a hard watch either. I mean, it was the whole thing's in Spanish, but it's very easy to follow. It's one of the movies to where you can turn it on and you don't have to like pay so close attention to everything to where if you miss a few minutes of it, you'll be lost. You won't because they kind of reiterate what's going on in a nice pacing, in a nice way. And the pacing is really smooth in this. It kind of goes at a really, really perfect pace. The cinematography was nice, very nice on this, and just the whole direction with the film, it got to the point, and then it kept moving, and sometimes it went back and reiterated the point, but it kept you intertwined and entertained throughout the whole thing. So I really enjoyed this movie. Some people might not like it, but because it's using a trope that's been used a bunch of times in the past, but I liked it. So we gonna get into the synopsis of the film per se from the To Doom website that I usually like to go to with Netflix, y'all. So we gonna pop it up real quick. Everything you need to know about non-negotiable. When a hostage negotiator on the brink of divorce is faced with rescuing both his abducted wife and president of Mexico, his meditation skills may save lives and hopefully his marriage. The Mexican comedy thriller, which what they say comedy, but it had jokes, but I didn't take it as a comedy thriller. It had like loose comedy, starring Mauricio Achman, Leonardo Ortiz Gris, and Tato Alexander. Was directed by Juan Taratuto, based on an original idea by Alejandro de Grazia. The film was written by Julieta Steinberg, Joe Rendon, Daniel Cuparo, and Marcelo Bidmaher. And we see you can stream it now, of course. And who's the cast? We just went through the cast and whatnot. So the main guy, Alan Bender, a hostage negotiator. This dude right here, he's a real one. He does a great job leading this film. Like he does, he has a nice balance of hard and soft, and that's really hard to play in these type of films when you have to kind of be like the stoic hero character because he has a lot of high tense moments when he's trying to rescue his wife. He's talking to his daughter, and his daughter's like, "Are you gonna get mommy out?" And he's like, "I'm gonna do whatever I can." And then he has to also, he has his funny moments too, where he's fighting with his wife, and they're in the therapy office, and he's like, "I'm not gonna pick up the phone. I'm not gonna pick up the phone. I gotta pick up the phone." Like this dude, and he's very relatable too because he's the type. He's a dude to where his work is his everything. He told his wife that, look, once our daughter gets born, I'm gonna quit the job. I'm gonna spend time with you in the family, and we ain't gonna worry about this special ops negotiation no more. Well, he kind of went back on that because he loves his job. He kind of is his job, and it's a really interesting magnet effect to where you got to pick and choose something that take away something that you love one way or the other. You're going to take away your time with your family, which you love, or your time with your job, which you love. And it's hard. A lot of people have to deal with that. I mean, most of the time it's the family that we have to give up the time with. But in his case, that was just his identity. That's who he was. That's what he was great at. That's what people known him for. And he couldn't give that up. But he realized at the end of the movie, they had a good quote that he said is, we have so much time. We think we can always get to something tomorrow, but tomorrow's not promised. And that's a big moral of the story. There was a moral of this story. I love morals. Yes, y'all, tomorrow is not promised. So, like, it's cliche, live every day like it's your last. But when you see people that you love, appreciate those times. Appreciate the moments you get with them. Appreciate the closeness and camaraderie you have because who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Who knows when the next time you can see them? There's countless times where you don't know when you see somebody and you don't see them in years, but you don't realize that's the last time you're going to see them in years. So that's the big moral of the story is just be present around the people that you love, your friends, your family, your close ones, and just appreciate those times and cherish them. So I do like the moral that it was it hit home a lot. It hit home. We'll continue with the synopsis. So yes, we get Bender. He is the hostage negotiator. We get Victoria, Alan's wife, a psychiatrist. So they both got two really good jobs. Nico, Victoria's personal trainer, who she cheats on with. Don't hire a personal trainer for your wife, fellas. Don't do it. President Francisco Ariza, Vicente Zambarno, the anti-hero per se. I wouldn't say he's the villain. There is no real like the villain is the president, to be honest with you, because he's a crude and evil politician who smiles in people's faces, kisses the babies, but really is just doing the worst underneath the table. Sounds familiar? Sounds very familiar. Yes, Vicente Zambrano, a former special ops officer, Commando Casado, Commando Carrasco, and Secretary of the Interior Regina Baston. So what happens? He's a hostage negotiator in Mexico, committed to a job that he neglects his family to much dismay of his wife. Yes, in the beginning, he's like, "Oh, y'all take the car home. I'm gonna take care of this mission, secret mission." Which I understand. You duty calls and you gotta pay the bills, but I assume the bills are already paid. But duty calls. But at the same time, you gotta sacrifice time from work with your family or the things that you other responsibilities that you got to do. You can't have your cake and eat it too. To much dismay of his wife, Victoria, the two couples begin therapy to work on the issues, but it may be too late. Bender finds out Victoria's been cheating on him with Nico, her personal trainer. During one of their therapy sessions, Bender gets a call the president of Mexico has been kidnapped along with his mistress. A criminal who calls himself Lamb is hunting for ransom money. Shortly after Bender leaves to handle the national crisis, Lamb takes additional hostages, Nico and Victoria. Can Bender meditate his way out of the hostage crisis and maybe even win his wife back? Lots of stakes, y'all. The wife, the president, his job and reputation, his life. It's a lot of things going on. I praise this movie for kind of keeping it moving. The way they kidnap them is a little Disney Plus. It just kind of just happens. You know, he gets everything he wants. I mean, the dude planned for this because the dude is a special ops guy, so he knows what he's doing. He's not no rookie, and he used to work with Bender, and I love. Oh, this is the thing I love the most about this movie. One of the things I love the most. They give us a flashback to see the origin story of our anti-hero. Not Bender. What's his name? They give us a flashback to see uh, the story of our anti-hero Vicente. I'll just say Zambrano. They go back because he used to work together with Bender, and they were on a mission trying to save these kids that were hostage on a school bus. Well, Zambrano shoots the terrorist who's holding everyone hostage, but he ends up blowing up the school bus as well and killing all the hostages on the bus. Therefore, he got fired and arrested, and he kind of just holds that weight with him and a lot of resentment um, towards our hero, and that's his origin story. Our hero Bender, and he's like, oh, it's Bender's fault because he put me in that situation, and now I'm out for revenge. Essentially, I don't think it was Bender's fault. I just think he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, he just was acting hastily. We got to be patient, especially we got lives at risk, y'all. We can't just be shooting. This ain't a video game. But yeah, he's mad and he wants that lick back essentially any way he possibly can. And that's exposing the president and getting back at Bender, maybe even killing his wife. So this dude don't care. He's about that life and he did the crime and he only had to do a little bit of time. But that was the synopsis of the story. So we'll continue with it real quick. This article is negotiable based on a book? No, it's not. Is it based on a true story? No, it's entirely fictional. And yeah, that's all we have for our To Doom article. They don't really explain much, which is fine. But yeah, y'all, the movie's about an hour 45, I think, ish. Easy watch. It's very entertaining. I would give this movie an honestly 8 out of 10. It keeps it moving. Some things are a little far fetched, of course, but that's Hollywood, of course, or Mexican Hollywood. But the pacing is damn near perfect. It is damn near perfect. The timing with the comedy acts is good. They just subtly throw it in there. They're not like all in your face about it. It seems natural, and a lot of it is relatable when the relationship stuff comes up mostly. That's the relatable part. And the guy, the anti-hero, because Zambrano, because yes, he kidnapped the president and his wife and he's threatened to kill them. That's not good, but he actually has reason and depth for doing it rather than just some maniacal reason of just like, oh, I'm just evil just because I want to be evil. No, like there's reasons behind his madness because he wants to actually help the country and expose the president for the fraud that he is, and just put him on blast for all the actual damage that he's doing to the economy and country. So he means well, even though he's going at it at a very dramatic, in a very dramatic way. But we've been in a situation before. I mean, I've been in a situation before, essentially, to where it looks like someone's doing wrong, but they're really doing right. But you can't always just look at the picture painted in front of you. You got to see the other angles and reasons of why that's happening. It's important to ask the question, why? Why is this person doing that? What is their motive? And if they give a motive and being like, okay, well, I'm actually trying to help, it's like if somebody says, oh, you got something hanging from your lip. And you're like, oh, like, why would, or you got some boogers in your nose. They're not trying to like laugh at you or poke fun. They're actually trying to help you out to make sure that you ain't looking a fool all day with boogers up your nose, and your friends really wouldn't say that. just because they don't want to be rude or something like that. But are they really your friends if they're not going to help you out in that way? Are they really just laughing at you because you walking around boogers in your nose all day? Just saying. People get confused on how the message is presented rather than the message itself. They want to be fluffed up. They want it to be nice and wrapped up in nice red and green wrapping paper for Christmas instead of it just coming in brown wrapping paper and whatnot. Like people worry too much about how the message is presented rather than the message itself. They want it gift wrapped beautifully with a bow on top. But if the gift inside is going to be the same as the other one, as the one that's just given to me in a brown paper bag, then I mean, does it really matter? Or we just want to be pleased and coddled and how things are given to us. So this movie had a lot of underlying tones and uh, it had a lot of underlying tones and things that we could take from it, at least things that I took from it that I could apply and view as morals of this story. It's a great story. I think it's original, which is very nice. And it just moves well. It moves well. So check it out, y'all. Non negotiable. Tell me if you like it. Leave a comment underneath here if you didn't like it or you did like it a lot and tell me what you did like about it because I enjoyed it. Even, with having subtitles on the whole time, I was able to really understand what was going on. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I can understand it better than I can speak it, but I like this movie, y'all. I really did, and I hope you do too. So, thank you guys so much. It's late. That's why I'm talking a little low. I ain't trying to wake up the kids or and keep it sane in here. But thank you all for joining me again, the DeAndre Way, for this review. And till next time, y'all, peace, blessings, and have a wonderful rest of your day.